Will robots take our children's jobs? Was the title of a New York Times article in December 2017. Millions of UK workers at risk of being replaced by robots, a Guardian article proclaimed a few months earlier. In the 2010s, a sudden wave of concern came into media attention, the notion that technological improvements in automation were going to replace human workers, causing a widespread unemployment crisis. The argument seems plausible at first glance. As machines get smarter, more efficient, and cheaper to implement by the year, coupled with breakthroughs in the AI department, human workers are becoming less and less attractive from a business perspective. Isn't it therefore realistic to assume that future generations are facing a jobless future? This phenomenon isn't a new thing. In fact, fears of technology and automation have quite a long history. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, new technologies have come and gone at an unprecedented scale. Factory owners would buy the newest machines and then fire many of their workers. Since machines are so efficient, cheaper, and better at something than humans, why wouldn't they do so? This would create tensions between workers and their employers. In the 1810s in England, a group of disenfranchised workers called the Luddites began destroying automated machines and cotton and woolen mills. 160 years later, in the 1970s, General Motors workers in Ohio set fire to assembly line controls, forcing production to halt. As you can see, this rise of the robots has been a recurring theme throughout generations. Economist John Maynard Keynes, known as the father of modern economics, popularized the idea of technological unemployment back in 1928. He said the increase of technical efficiency has been taking place faster than we can deal with the problem of labor absorption. That's almost 100 years ago. And yet, machines haven't replaced humans as of today. There's a reason the topic of automation has gained traction in the last decade: the exponential boom in technology. Advances in computing and the internet have caused fears for the future to re-emerge. In 2016, Geoffrey Hinton, a pioneer in artificial intelligence, said, "People should stop training radiologists now. It's completely obvious within 5 years, deep learning is going to do better than radiologists." 5 years later, this prediction held partially true. AI systems have indeed improved dramatically. The University of Cambridge Cancer Center, together with Microsoft, have developed a tool that provides accurate 3D visualizations of tumors and organs. This has cut the time it takes to identify neuroblastoma from a few hours to 4 minutes. Radiologists would have more time on their hands to, for example, reassure patients. But at the same time, Hinton's prediction was off the mark. From 2010 to 2019, the number of radiologists in the United States hasn't dramatically decreased as suggested, but instead remained stable at around 28,000. Instead of getting replaced by machines, radiologists remain high in demand and low in supply. Examples like these support the notion that the robo-apocalypse predicted by the media is overstated. Historically, jobs have always become more automated, but at the same time employment levels have tended to increase, because automation creates more jobs than it destroys. So, is everything fine then? Are the fears addressed by the media nothing but sensationalism? Let's look at this from a different angle. Uber, founded just 13 years ago, is a huge company worth $74 billion today. It operates worldwide in over 900 metropolitan areas, where it disrupted taxicab businesses and even increased traffic congestion by considerable amounts. But while Uber officially employed around 27,000 people by 2019, estimates count up to 4 million Uber drivers worldwide. That's because Uber drivers aren't official employees working for Uber, they're independent contractors or gig workers. In countries with significant worker protection laws, this is a way of Uber avoiding employer responsibilities. This concept is also what gave Uber the huge competitive advantage. You see, in order to run a taxi company, you would need employees, the drivers, and cars. You would have to provide a proper salary and maintain the drivers' cars. In order to expand your business, you would have to hire more drivers and acquire more cars, which of course isn't cheap, so your company's potential would be severely limited. Uber worked around this entirely. Uber drivers have to use their own cars and take care of maintenance and repair themselves. This allowed Uber to expand rapidly, but their drivers saw little to no worker protection. Uber has been in several lawsuits because of this. Just last year, an Uber driver in the UK won a case seeking official employment status, and the court agreed. Since this case, however, only affected Uber drivers from 2016, not many drivers saw a benefit. The definition of employees is becoming more and more convoluted. Companies are finding ways to circumvent laws to benefit themselves, at the cost of workers. This cat and mouse game between companies looking to maximize profits and governments trying to balance society's quality of life by restricting companies' exploits is nothing new. And again, as technology impacts and changes the game and rules of society, it's in the people's and government's hands to ensure sustainable quality of life. We've gone from 80-hour work weeks and child labor to 40 hours and employee benefits in the developed world. What's next? Thanks for watching.